of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I saw that. Man, can we have a roll call, members, please?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
McCumber.
Here.
Lapp.
Here.
L. McManus.
Here.
Gustinelli. Here. Horn.
Here.
And Jay McManus.
Here, thank you. Next item on the agenda is a review and approval of the agenda. If anybody has any conflicts of interest, now be a good time to state those.
Make a motion that we approve the amended agenda.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve the amended agenda as presented. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consent calendar.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted in parentheses on the agenda is approved by a single board action adopting the consent calendar. This evening you have minutes, July 28th, 2026, Township Board regular meeting, recommend approval. Bills from the general fund, $1,985.84, recommend approval. Gordy Frazier, Developers Escrow Fund, Stormwater Reviews and Determinations, Utility Plan Review, Oversight and Closeout, $22,968.75. General Utilities, $30,290. General, $7,335.75. Park Funds DNR Trust Fund, $7,350 for a total of $67,944.50. Recommend approval. Consideration of contractor's application number 2 for payment from Team Elmers for Silver Lake Recreation Area pickleball courts. Recommend approval. Consideration of contractor's application for payment number 2 from AJ's Excavating for River East site and bathroom amenities. Recommend approval. Consideration of change order number 1 from AJ's Excavating for River East Recreation Area improvements. Recommend approval. Consideration of resolution 2026-21-T amended regarding payment to be made in lieu of taxes. Recommend approval. And consideration of resolution 2026-25-T Ridgeview Court Deficit Elimination Plan. Recommend approval.
Thank you. Is there any items anybody on the board would like to have removed and placed elsewhere? Any items staff would like to have removed?
Nope.
Any items anybody in the public would like to have removed and placed elsewhere? Seeing none, and a motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve the consent calendar as presented. Any further discussion on that motion?
When we finish this, I think we need to go back to the agenda. We have some things that were on our desk that need to be added to the agenda. 7E, are you adding that? That's not on the original.
Yeah, it is.
It's on this one, but it's not on this one.
That's we approve the
It's on
amended.
this amended one?
Right.
Okay,
It's
all
right
right.
here.
All right, good.
Okay.
See it. Thanks.
All right. Any further discussion on the consent calendar? Seeing none, and we have a roll call on that, please.
Corn.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
McCumber.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
Gustinelli.
Yes.
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Jay McManus.
Yes, thank you. Correspondence in your packet, starting on page 38, is the Grand Traverse County Road Commission report update for your review. And then we will move on to reports. I don't see a county commissioner here this evening for a report, so we'll skip the Grand Traverse County Commissioner report, move on to an engineering construction report. Was Jennifer going to come back for the
She was
meeting?
supposed to be here.
Well, we'll move on to the sheriff's report. I think we see him out there.
Good evening, Roy Raska, Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office. The stats in Garfield Township for the month of July, there were 71 citations issued, 31 injury accidents, and 71 non-injury crashes. 7 OWI arrests were made, 35 criminal arrests were made. And then just some of the things that the community policing program took part in over the last month in Garfield Township included guys put together an active assailant presentation at the Harvest Church. That was well received and well attended. Guys also took part in the Heritage Estates 4th of July parade. I had Deputy France for the second year take part in the Keys to Freedom Ministry, which is a kids camp where one or two of the kids' parents are incarcerated. So it was the second year we've been asked to come back to that, and that was well received. And that took place at the Resurrection Church up at Crossing Circle. For the first time, we set up a breakfast at Independence Village with the residents there. A good handful of community police officers, along with Metro Fire and the state police, all had breakfast with the residents there. We might try to do that once or twice a year from here on out. It was well received. And tomorrow I have one of the Garfield Township community police officers and the Peninsula Township police officer taking part in the Father Fred Back to School, Help the Kids. They're going to help volunteers fit the kids with shoes, backpacks, and glasses. And then our Detective Bureau continues to work on the assault that took place behind Aldi's, so they're still working on that. I really can't give anything further out at this point on that. And that's it for my report. If you have any questions?
Any questions for Roy? Oh, thanks, Roy. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Moving on, Planning Department report for August. Steve.
Good evening, Steve Hannon, Deputy Planning Director, filling in for John Syke tonight. Our report is in writing in the packet. I won't go into all the detail, just there's a lot of development reviews currently, both with staff and with the Planning Commission. Some of it down the line will be going to the board at the earliest at your next meeting. I did want to touch on our study session at the end of July. So at our first meeting in July, we forwarded the proposed zoning ordinance amendment for the moratorium procedure, which you have the public hearing on later on this agenda tonight. At the study session, Planning Commission and staff looked at actually doing a findings or drafting some findings that will eventually be forwarded to the board for a data center on, or a moratorium on data centers specifically. This was a lot of the comments brought up at our July 8th meeting, so we took a lot of the concerns that brought up by our residents, other members of the public, staff, and Planning Commission, and we linked them to policies that the township already has, and linked them to our strategic plan, linked them to our master plan, and why are these concerns related to our policies, our goals and objectives that are already in place. So we're looking at forwarding that tomorrow's meeting, looking at making a recommendation to forward that to the township board. You'd have that for consideration 2 weeks from now. And that's kind of the biggest things we're doing. So, any questions?
Any questions for Steve?
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Parks and Recreation report. Derek?
Good evening, Derek Morton, Park Stewart. I submitted my report there. We've got a lot of things going on in the parks right now. That Silver Lake, it said almost done. It is done for the pickleball courts. Been a ton of play on it already. It seems like it's going well. It's not overused where people are waiting. So we've been communicating that we're just going to be first come, first serve this bit. And then maybe getting into next year, we might do a 2-court reservation through TAPA. But it's all looking good. They may come back at the end of the year if the paint does not, little swirls in the surface of it. They may come back and put another coat on it in October, but we're going to reevaluate that in October. Been using the tractor quite a bit to repair some washouts from the flooding still. Every time we get a heavy rain, either, Borden River Trail or the Commons or something washes out. So I did a little show and tell in your packet where we've repaired some trails that have totally washed out. Sean and I are working on the one at Silver Lake off Valley Drive. That one's washed out. We don't see that one as often, but we're working on that tomorrow and the next day to get that repaired. Looking forward to a pre-construction meeting with Gordy Frazier and the development at the Commons. That's forthcoming. River East, that stage was completed with the parking lot. Looks great. The footings went in for the bathrooms. That's all looking good. So that's moving along appropriately. We've had a little flare up in the last couple of weeks with some encampments, but Sheriff's Department CPO has been helping us manage that. Kind of got a couple groups of RV campers that have been causing some problems, but we know who they are and we're keeping tabs on them. So, also we've been having a beaver problem down at Miller Creek that we think we've helped that cause a little bit. They were plugging up the culverts and flooding everything down behind Aldi's. So we think we've solved that problem. Kids Creek, met with the conservation, or the Resource Alliance group. They're great. We're talking about some in-kind grant money forthcoming to manage those 3,000 trees we planted in the Buffalo Ridge Trail. Unfortunately, I found a sweet ground wasp nest there while we were doing that last week, but that's posted. We didn't do anything with them. They're far enough off the trail and they're still living. So, we're managing that. And I think today, I just saw the invoice come through before this meeting. I think our Wetlands Wildlife Solutions took care of the autumn aloe treated down the Buffalo Ridge Trail. So that should look a lot better and off the trail. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to get down there and take a peek at that. So, but some show and tell items in your packet there, and social sports. I've been using the multi-purpose field quite a bit, and there's been a lot of activity at Silver Lake. So, any questions for me, Molly?
When they take those autumn olive down, are they just cutting them down, or are they treating the?
They have a great foliar treatment that targets only the autumn olive, so they treat it, and within 20-30 days they come back and forestry mulch it. So they mulch it and pulverize it right into the ground, so then we can come back and do a replanting behind it after one season. So our thought is, what's that?
The roots are.
Yeah, they're done. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
At our Parks and Rec Commission meeting the other night, we had talked about possibly, because the graffiti is getting so bad at the hippie tree, that there's a possibility of possibly talking about removing that, because now it is actually going on to other trees. It's not staying on one tree anymore. So we had talked about that, of possibly removing that tree completely. Maybe then, at that point in time, it'll defer the rest of the paint on other trees.
Yeah, we know it's a delicate conversation with the public. People come from out of town to come see it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. So we thought about making it, some type of scenic view of it, but trails are not going to go directly into it with the new developments of the Commons. And we need to enforce more of the paint
Right.
cans and spray painting.
Yeah,
in the
it's
Commons.
getting
It's
terrible
terrible right
there.
now. Yeah.
Any other questions for Derek?
Thank you.
Derek.
Yep. Thanks, Derek. Treasurer's report.
My report is in writing, nothing major to note. It was a boring quarter. That's always a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Any questions about it or anything for me?
Nope.
That's it.
Thank you. Clerk's report.
I've also submitted my clerk's report in writing. We survived the election. I have some numbers. We ended up having about exactly 32.32% voting showed up. The early voting, the 72 hours of early voting, only 297 people showed up. Election day, where there was 13 hours of voting, 1,901 people showed up. And then absentee ballots, there was 3,499 returned. So, put that out there.
Okay, yeah.
Laney, do we have an estimate of what it costs us to run the 9 extra days?
You don't want me to do an estimate on what it costs to run those
9 days?
9 days of early
You
voting.
have to have,
I have to have, well, 3 to 4 people. You have to have two Republicans and 2 Democrats, and you have to have one of each in the room at all times. So I have 4 people, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, so people can go to the bathroom if they need to. And so it's 4 people, and on 8 hours, I have to have them there 8 hours. You have to run it for 8 hours, and like I said, the one Sunday, 5 people showed up.
Pricey votes.
Yep.
I had to pay them all, so
It's a very expensive proposition for.
it was a very
No
expensive
question.
proposition.
But it's voted
For
in,
less
it's part
than
of our
1% of
constitution,
our
we can't,
voters.
we have to do it, so. It is expensive. All right, anything else?
No, I'm
Okay.
good, thanks.
All right, managers report.
I submitted my report to you in writing. It's in the packet, just to highlight a couple items. I put information in about the FEMA and Eagle grants that I've been working on, or staff has. Some pictures of Frankie Road, the sidewalk, that is nearly complete. Now they're going to be working on the road itself. Also River East, the parking lot is finished, and they're starting to work on the bathroom. Put in my report a couple traffic concerns that were communicated to me. Those were passed on to the road commission because it was their responsibility, jurisdiction to take care of them. We handled some safety and security matters regarding the township hall, working with the fire department. The community development committee met as well, and we have a meeting tomorrow with a developer on a potential HTIF project. And then the supervisor talked last meeting about groundbreaking with Cherryland, and I had some photos to show you of that event. So that is all I have for my report, unless you have questions.
Yep. Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
Not a lot on the supervisor report. As Chris and actually Derek both mentioned, the bathrooms are well under construction over at River East, so we're on schedule there. It's nice. Did have the opportunity to sit down and meet with the new, Beta has a new executive director, so we had a good meeting with him and getting up to speed with Beta and all their activities over there, and we've invited him to participate in the steering committee, or not, the advisory committee for the South Airport corridor, being the only public transportation in the county. I thought they should be involved in that process. And then we continued discussions this morning with BPW representatives and County Board of Commissioners representatives on for the BPW, the future of the BPW, and it's the first time we've met since it was 6 months and in 1 week since we've met. So you can call it progress. It's been a long time since we sat down, but we had a good meeting today, and we'll be getting back together soon. So that's all I really had. Anybody have any questions for me? Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business. Consideration of workforce housing pilot policy resolution 2026-24-T. It's on page 72 in your packet. Chris, do you want to kick that
So
off?
we discussed this at our last meeting. It was presented in a draft. There was discussion about changing the percentage of all tax exempted housing to 20% of our total units within the township. So the updated guidelines reflect that. And then also the HTIF policy talks about a needs assessment, feasibility needs assessment being completed. There was discussion about that as well. So that was added to this as well to remain consistent. And we will require the applicant or developer to do that. And also, apparently, when it involves a MSHDA loan, like in low income, that is a requirement. So we're just being consistent all the way around. So that way, we're making informed decisions. And so I'm just looking for you to make a motion to approve that resolution.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-24T, adopting a policy for evaluation of workforce housing pilot applications.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve resolution 2026-24-T. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, Ann, can we have a roll call, please?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Clapp.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
Cumber.
Yes.
Augustinelli.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
And Jay McManus.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to new business. First item is a public hearing consideration of the Olson PUD major amendment, a cell phone tower. I believe Steve's going to bring us up to date. The Planning Commission's already vetted this out, and I think Steve's just going to recap what the Planning Commission's recommending to us.
Yep, and just to give an overview, cell tower or wireless communication facility is listed as a special use permit in most places in the ordinance. The last one that Planning Commission reviewed is on Zimmerman Road. I believe it just went up in the last couple months. This being, the site has an existing PUD on it. It's where the Olson grocery store is, which is why this one was done as a major amendment to a PUD rather than a special use permit. So that's why this one came to the board and the other one stayed at Planning Commission. So this is also, to just give an overview, kind of recap of this project, the applicant has existing equipment on the concrete service building, is building mounted. Their lease is ending with concrete service, and they need to relocate and upgrade their equipment. So they found this site behind the Olson grocery store. Planning Commission did a thorough review of all of the requirements, not only for a PUD major amendment, but the specific requirements for a wireless communication facility, which are substantial. Sorry for the long report, but that's why that's there. And then just a few things to wrap up. Since the Planning Commission forwarded it, they submitted some updated site plans, took care of a couple of the conditions that were recommended by Planning Commission. There was still some outstanding items and some of our standard language, which goes with a lot of approvals. So some of that will be like verification. They have a wetland delineation because it's right next to the wetlands on that site. Final review of things like engineering, stormwater, but otherwise it seemed pretty straightforward. The applicant is also here for question and answer if the Township Board has any questions.
Board, any questions for Steve on this? It's pretty straightforward. Planning Commission is recommending it to find these facts. So.
Public hearing.
Now, if you want to take action, there are two recommended motions in your packet, both on page, I believe, page 70.
Would you need to open
89.
the public hearing first?
Public hearing.
What is a public hearing? All right. So I will open up the public hearing. So this is a public hearing on the cell phone tower for the Olson PUD. So if anybody has any comments they'd like to make on this topic, please come forward. State your name and your residence of municipality of residence for the record, and let us know what you have to say.
My name's Donna Miller, and I live right across the road from where this is going to be. And I support this for the reason that I have two sons who are on ventilators, and the ventilators are hooked to phone modems, and the phone modems can transfer information to Ann Arbor to their doctors, which is very important to us when we have a crisis and can call and say, what's going on, tell me what you're seeing. And if we lose the cell service tower that's there now, our home is in a very low, hollow area, and we could lose the modem reception or have very poor connection to Ann Arbor. So it's important for us to have cell service near us in that area. And since we have hills on all sides, it's very hard to get reception there. So I support this.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Seeing nobody else coming forward, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll bring it back to the board for discussion or action if you have any, or questions if you have any.
I make a motion that the findings in fact for application SUP 1997-06-G submitted by Atlas Tower LLC for planned unit development major amendment for wireless communication facility at 3850 North Long Lake Road on a portion of parcel number 05-009-001-00 in support of the requested amendment to the Olson planned unit development and as recommended for adoption by the Planning Commission be adopted.
Support.
Motion made and supported to adopt the findings of fact for SUP 1997-06-G as presented. Any further discussion on that motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I make a motion that application SUP 1997-06-G submitted by Atlas Tower LLC for a planned unit development major amendment for the wireless communication facility at 3850 North Long Lake Road on a portion of partial number 05-009-001-00 be approved subject to the following conditions 1 through 8 as indicated in the Planning Department report 2026-113.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and supported to approve the application of SUP 1997-06-G as presented. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, and we need a roll call on that, please.
We have Schmuckel.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
McCumber.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
Gustinelli.
Yes.
J. McManus.
Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, it's not in alphabetical order, but the next item on our agenda is item 7E, consideration of outdoor gathering license application submitted by South Boardman Lake District LLC, Shorts Brewery. There's a handout in your packet tonight. And Chris, did you want to kick this off?
Yeah, our zoning administrator is here to answer questions as well.
Okay. All right.
But as you're aware, Shorts Brewing has a property at Logan's East, and they want to hold a special event to do a fundraiser. And they had to submit an application for a gathering. We got an ordinance that controls that type of activity. And the committee had concerns about traffic. The applicant had worked with the fire department on their issues and concerns, the sheriff department, and they were fine with the event as it was reported. But, you know, internally, we felt like with the advertisement that went on, the level of interest, that it could be significant and an impact to South Airport, which is already busy. So it was a safety concern that we had. And the supervisor and I followed up with the applicants today, and they put a lot of our concerns at ease, addressed some of these parking issues by arranging the west side. The developer there is allowing them to park there in case they need expanded parking area. So that was taken care of, and the applicant is here tonight just to let you know a little bit about the event and his promise to the board that he's going to make sure it's ran as according to plan, and safety and security is the utmost important. And so he's here to talk to the board and then answer questions that you have for him. And then at the end, the committee is asking that the board make the recommendation of approving the application or denying it. The ordinance allows the committee option to ask the board to do that, and that's what they would like to do.
Tim, if you'd like to step up and let us know what you want us to hear.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Tim Pulliam with Keene Technical, also part of South Boardman Lake LLC. That LLC is owned by my business partner, Steve Morris, and I at Keene Technical Solutions and TC Millworks, as well as Scott Newman Bale and Joe Short from Shorts Brewing. Planning and engineering is underway for the main improvements to the building. We're working with the code department right now. We just had an inspection, about a week and a half ago on the deck area, the patio area that was there. We kept it in the existing footprint, but we fixed that up. We have a final inspection on that tomorrow. We've been planning a little kind of community open house. We were going to use it also as a fundraiser because not too long ago, the township board approved a trail at the Commons, so we were going to use it as a fundraiser for Northern Michigan Mountain Bike Association as well. We're going to be in the parking lot, the south side of the parking lot, and we're going to be in the area where the old deck is along the river. The deck has been redone. It's looking really nice. I just got some pictures of it today. I just got back from family vacation this evening for this meeting. We do have arrangements with John Chase at County Parks, and I did send that in to zoning. They're willing to let us use the lot at Medali as overflow. The west side, the property manager there has agreed that we can use that lot as well. So we do have roughly around 100 spots between ours, Medali, and the west side. We do have Norte coming. They're going to bring their bicycle valet. We've encouraged a lot of people to ride. We also have Brick Wheels on board with allowing nighttime return of their rental and demo fleet, so we're encouraging people to park there. I'm sure people are going to drive cars there, and it's even possible that the lots will get full even with that many spots, but we do have 20 or so volunteers that are going to be working as well, just to greet people and help make sure people know where to park and where not to. I know this is our first experience with having a celebration in Garfield Township, but I can assure you that we have celebrations quite often, and probably even some people sitting up there have been to some of them before. We do take public safety pretty serious, but we take having a good time pretty serious too, and so I think that we can figure out a way to balance both those things and pull off a safe event. We are pretty excited with the amount of interest that we have. I think it's going to generate a ton of funds, and 100% of those funds, since it is a fundraiser, do go back to Garfield Township Parks, which I also think is awesome. So that's it, and I'm definitely here to answer any questions. I did go through the 42-page board packet, of which around 28 of them were about this celebration. I think it covered things pretty well, but I did notice that there were a couple holes in there that we had thought about that maybe didn't make it in there. It was definitely a flurry of activity the past couple weeks between GT Metro, Health Department, Garfield Township, and just all the involved parties. So I think we have everything covered really well, but we're definitely down to the wire, so I appreciate your consideration tonight.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Tim? And really, we scheduled this on the meeting because when we put this on the agenda and created the handouts, we didn't have in writing that they were able to use the west side of Logan's, which made a big difference as far as what we thought the preparations for the parking would make a big difference. So Tim was still happy to come in and talk to the board and bring us up to speed, so we just left it on, even though we knew the parking issue was dealt with. And he's assured us that he'll have volunteers directing traffic, so they go in the right places. So.
2 questions, Tim. And
Yes.
my first one you answered, which is fundraising for the trail.
Yeah.
Fabulous. That's great.
Yeah,
Glad
super
you're doing
exciting.
it. I'm excited for that trail. And I'm sorry, we just got this in paper, so I didn't read the 28 pages yet.
Yeah, it's
No,
okay.
2 questions, garbage and bathrooms.
Absolutely.
Because you're right there by the lake. Those would be my first 2 big concerns. How are you addressing those 2
Yeah,
places?
so we have 4 Mile, which is who we use for all of our dumpsters, trash removal, and porta-johns, and portable hand wash stations. So we have them contracted to bring that over. I did send copies of those contracts. I also reached out to the health department to be sure that they knew what we were up to. And the health department's been very helpful as well through all this to make sure that we can pull off a safe event. We also have the support of Gordon's to be sure that they're able to actually run refrigerated items as we need them from just down the street in case a lot of more people than we planned to show up and we need to cook extra brats and burgers. We have a way to do that safely. Yeah, I think we're in good shape, and we care about nature, so we're going to make sure that there's not garbage ending up in the river or people spilling out into the county park or causing issues for the neighbors. But most of the neighbors are pretty excited about it. Our tenants are all excited about it. So I think we're going to be able to pull this off and not have any ill will when we're done. Still be able to look people in the eye afterwards, and hopefully everyone's excited.
Yeah, Molly?
How many people are you estimating?
I'm estimating the most we'll have at one time is a couple hundred. That's one of the reasons why we ran it from noon to 10, because we're hoping people can, and there's a lot of curiosity, so people are going to be excited to come in, and I don't anticipate that people will show up and then stay all day.
Some might.
But some may.
You got
Yep.
good beer.
Yes, that's right. It is good beer. Yes, some may. And that's okay. We'll call a beta bus for those that do. Well, but I would think throughout the day, there could be hundreds of people between, over a 10-hour period. So hopefully most of them on bikes if we're lucky. The Boardman Lake Loop is awesome. We have the local bike shops pretty excited about it, get people out on e-bikes and things like that, so people will be able to cruise on down, and we'll have the Norte bicycle valet set up. We'll be able to park, 100 or so bikes, so that would be great.
Or kayak.
I hope that people do kayak, yeah. I did reach out to the sailing club and told them to sail on down for it. And it's been great. I mean, it really, we've had Britain reach out, and they're excited to come by, and they've offered their help and support, and we've had Gordon's reach out, and we've had, just a lot of the community, like, what can they do to help? They were excited about it, and, honestly, of all the things that we build, like, community is the most exciting thing, really. It's like, we put these things together, but if they're hollow or soulless, it just doesn't really mean anything. And when you get all these people like excited to come see what you're up to, we have to do it right.
Okay, just one more thing. The committee, Joe, the committee was satisfied with the security and safety and those parts of it?
Yes, in fact, the fire department, sheriff's department had already reviewed and approved it. The only committee concerns were around parking and traffic. Those were the two. So, and we didn't have all the information earlier today, but by the time we put the packet, after we put the packet together, we had the rest of the information, but thought it was still worth bringing it to the board and bringing it up to date, because you'll probably drive by and wonder what all these people doing at Logan's Landing on the weekend. So. But yeah, the committee now, in fact, we re-met with the committee. They were okay. We could have technically turned around and pulled it off, but since we already put it on the agenda, we didn't want to take it on and pull it back off again, so.
Have we got a way for people to go from that south lot on one side of Airport Road across Airport Road? They park their
South
cars.
to north, I know there's a crosswalk at the light on the
That
west
would be
side.
just at the light.
But west to east there's actually, is that walkway open over the river?
Yeah, we'll use the walkway that's actually on the Boardman Lake Loop. The walkway over the river is closed, so we'll have them park in the west lot and come over.
Come over the
Over
loop,
the Tart
loop trail
Bridge or the loop.
bridge, okay.
Yeah, the loop bridge. And we won't encourage anybody to park on the south side if we can avoid it, because when you push those little buttons, there's at least 3 or 4 cars that blast through the red light. And then the one that finally realizes it's red slams on the brakes, and then the people that are going to rear end them whip around them and almost take you out. So you kind of have to push the button and then step back about 20 steps. And I cross that to go out the Boardman River Trail almost daily this time of year, and almost daily I almost get smoked. So it'll be great when the road commission gets going with the pedestrian underpass.
And that's exactly what we were worried about, is the south side parking. That's why
Yeah.
when they got the west lot, it should hopefully accommodate.
Right.
So. Any other questions for Tim? All right. So the committee is actually making a recommendation to the board that we approve this permit. So.
I would make a motion that we approve the proposal.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve the application submitted by the Boardman Lake District LLC Shorts Brewery for the outdoor gathering at Logan's Landing. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Tim. All right, next item on our agenda is a public hearing, consideration of a zoning ordinance amendment for moratoriums. It's Resolution 2026-22-T. So I'm going to kick this one off and just walk through the process we've gone through, both for the board and for the public's benefit, so they understand where we're at, what we're actually doing tonight, and what the next steps in the process are. So, as you all remember, we started this process back late December, early January, with a joint meeting with the Planning Commission, and we identified the need and desire to have the ability to put moratoriums on any controversial issues that might come into the township, any developments that might be deemed as controversial. The option was there to just put a moratorium on at the board level, but we wanted to make sure we were doing it right, so we consulted with our attorneys, and the more enforceable, stronger way to do a moratorium is to make the ability to enact a moratorium as part of your zoning ordinance, which ours did not. Our zoning ordinance did not have the ability to put moratoriums on. So we've been working like I said, since January on this process, working with our legal teams. And it's been drafted. As you know, the Planning Commission dealt with this last month, and they are recommending our approval tonight. Just a few things I think that need to be realized. This is creating a tool for us. This is creating a tool to give us the ability, with recommendations from the Planning Commission, to enact moratoriums on any controversial issue. It could be wind, solar, data centers, meat rendering plants, for all I know. Whatever it might be that might be disruptive and have a negative impact on the township. So that's what we're doing tonight. We are not voting tonight on any moratorium. Okay? There's no moratorium being voted on tonight. That's not what is on our agenda. We're simply voting to change our zoning ordinance to allow us to put moratoriums on. Okay? There's a lot of minutia out there. If you read the social media, they're all talking about us voting tonight on a moratorium on a specific use. That is not the case. That's not what's happening. We expect in the near future, we probably will have a recommendation for moratorium from our Planning Commission, and then we'll act on that. That's all part of this process, okay? And we've been working on it. Many municipalities have enacted moratoriums at the board level without making it part of their ordinance. Some municipalities haven't done anything. The city of Traverse City hasn't done any moratoriums against data centers. Some have chosen not to deal with it. We are dealing with it, and we're dealing with it in a way that our attorneys say is the most legal and effective and enforceable. So unfortunately, some things move at the speed of government, and this is one of them, okay? But we are really close to the finish line, and we're getting the process where we want it to be, okay? So obviously, as is the case almost all the time, I don't think I've ever gone against the recommendation of the Planning Commission. So I'll obviously be supporting this resolution. And I would just, open up the question. Molly, you are on the Planning Commission. What you might glean from the Planning Commission standpoint?
Well, the Planning Commission had a nice meeting full of lots of comments and lots of people who had things to say about it, and our attorneys have told us this is the best way to go about it. And I think the Planning Commission listened to everybody, and I am definitely in favor of moving this thing through just as fast as we can get it done. So.
Anybody else have any comments?
I agree with Molly. I think this is a great option for us, and I think it's something we need to do, and I'm definitely in favor of it.
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely in favor of it also, and I think by doing this with our attorneys guiding us this way, this is the perfect way to do it, so we have it in place, and it's going to be in the zoning ordinance.
I am also in favor of it, and it's, assuming we do approve this tonight and we publish tomorrow.
Yes.
Or the day after, 7 days later, we can actually
Yep.
have a moratorium.
Yep. All it takes is my signature on it, I think.
Yep.
It'll have it, so. Okay. Chloe?
Also in favor of it. It's really the best tool to slow this down, look at our zoning ordinance, put as many guidelines and rules in place as we can to meet the community's needs, to make them as, to make our zoning ordinance the best that we can to prevent what the community doesn't want, what we don't want. So I think for any controversial subject, having the ability to do moratoriums is going to be a big option for us, so we can stop development when we're not ready, put the rules in place that we need to, and make, good sound decisions for the township. So I'm going to be in support of it as well.
Good deal.
I'm in support as well, and I think a lot of people are here tonight because of this. I'm glad to see everybody here. Thank you. And I think this is very smart, because while it's a data center today that we're concerned about, tomorrow it might be a meat processing plant or something that really affects the wonderful place that we have to live. So good job, Planning Commission. Thank you.
All right, good. And like I say, when we get to it after the public hearing, the recommendation for the planning commission to approve it. So we are going to open up the public hearing. I want to clarify the difference between a public hearing and public comment. There'll be public comment at the end of the meeting where you can get up and talk about anything you'd like to talk about. This is a public hearing specifically about changing the zoning ordinance. So if you're here to get up and talk about a data center, now is not the time to do that. We're not talking about data centers or wind or solar right now. This is about the process of changing our zoning ordinance. So I will open up the public hearing. You'll have 3 minutes to get us up. If anyone wants to comment on changing the zoning ordinance, now's your time to come up. Please state your name, your municipality of residence, and let us know what you'd like to say.
Mitch Treadwell, 620 West 7th Street, Traverse City, Michigan. I am a city commissioner and planning commissioner right down the hill. Yes, as was mentioned, Traverse City hasn't had data centers, though we do have had other developments. And in our zoning code, we do have the provision that allows us to have moratoriums. Right now, we've put in a moratorium on car-centric developments like gas stations, car washes, and the like, to allow us to have a little more time to look at the finer language that we have, and thus have some breathing room before the next proposal comes and we have to act immediately. East Bay Township had a moratorium for short-term rentals. Similarly, it allows some breathing room for you to look at what your language is on the books, what the conditions on the ground have been, what is coming down the pipeline that has already impacted other communities, and to develop the language that works best for your community. It is a great tool. I think that it can be a great asset for Garfield Township. Thank you.
Thanks, Mitch. Anybody else? Going once? Twice? Public hearing is closed. Bring it back to the board on page, I believe, the resolution is in your packet.
Make a motion that Resolution 2026-22-T to adopt Amendment Number 51 to the Garfield Township Ordinance Number 68, Garfield Township Zoning Ordinance be adopted.
Support.
Motion made, supported to adopt resolution 2026-22-T. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Ann, can we please have a roll on that?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Was that Lab?
Yes.
Okay, Lab.
Yes.
Ellen McManus.
Yes.
McCumber.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Gustinelli.
Yes.
And Jay McManus.
Yes, thank you. Next item, consideration of Gordy Fraser Engineering Services for Cass and South Airport Road sanitary sewer rehabilitation. I believe our engineer is here quickly to talk about that.
Thank you. Jennifer Graham, Gordy Fraser, and I apologize, I was running a minute late, so I appreciate that. In your packet tonight is further attention related to Cass and South Airport, our sanitary sewer. Most of you guys may have are slightly familiar. Anyway, it has been a situation that has continued to be problematic for us. We were very fortunate recently that the contractor, through their quick thinking and working with the road commission, DPW staff, and township staff to address it was an emergency situation for the second time, the second repair, and with some undermining, and ultimately we were able to get in and do another temporary repair. We witnessed that repair. This location was pretty isolated next to the manhole at the northeast quadrant. Elmer's got in there, and no, they did a good job. And it was a very clean cut and repair implementation, but you know, as we've learned from our past, we were down this road a year ago, and with the vitrified clay, you know, there's continuing to be concern and a very strong potential and imminent that hairline cracks are going to continue to be prevalent. It's just much like, you know, a terracotta pot. So with that, It's been very important for direction from township staff, Gordy Frazier recommendation to implement a long-term corrective repair. And so that's what you guys have in your packet tonight. Vetting the different options. I mean, the easiest solution, we could go in open cut and repair, and it's basically about 1,000 feet of sanitary sewer. It's all, we want to address all the vitrified clay. So we serve a handful of customers on the North Cass, about 12 customers before we get to the city limits, and that's about 1,000 feet. And then that intersection right there is all we have for vitrified clay sanitary sewer in the system that we know of. So we want to implement repairs to that, and logically we could go in an open cut, but just talking through with cost estimating, that puts us in a position where we're going to have to reroute traffic. It's very intrusive and will impede traffic flow. Comparing that, another alternate solution that we've imposed in the past is pipe bursting, where they go in pneumatically. This is all trenchless below ground through the manholes, and so they can go through and burst through portions of the pipe to put in a piece of plastic pipe, and then the remainder pieces that are intact, that we haven't seen any situations of damage, we can actually slip line. And both of those are very common practices. In running cost estimates with that second option, they're very similar, but as I noted, they're all trenchless through manholes, and so we don't have to really navigate any traffic detours or conflicts and delays with the project that anybody above ground would experience. So talking that through with staff, that's kind of where we're at. So that's what you guys have in your packet, is just for us to proceed. I've already been doing that work because we want to fast track this and be done with it this year, so we don't have to talk about this corner ever again. But I, just for all of us, for accountability and transparency, I want to have this contract in front of you guys so you can see the full scope and work that's going to be involved. And then as your engineer, continue to work through the design. It will require permitting through Eagle, bidding the project out, construction management and administration, and following your standard procurement process. We want to make sure that we publicly bid this project out. But I'm having it poised already. It's going to be ready for bids for next week to do it. And the design is pretty minimal because, again, we're not putting in a brand-new sanitary sewer. We're just slip lining and pipe bursting the existing in place and going through manholes. And no, it'll be a pretty neat process, and we'll have some good videos to show you guys of when they do it. Mr. Korn may remember we did it on Dual Road
Yes, I do.
a little bit ago. So Garfield is very familiar with this process. It's just been a minute. But I will answer any questions you guys have.
I think you answered my question. You're only going through, not closing the road, just.
Correct, yeah.
If you remember,
That's the concern every person is
Yeah.
causing. Well, you're going to close it again. I
Right,
said,
and that's
no.
that's, like I said, that's the traditional conventional option, and we don't want to do that anymore. We've done that long enough.
Right.
If you remember when we did this repair, there was an option A and an option B.
Right.
And we really hoped option A worked because the simple fix with as little disruption as possible allowed us to do this fix, so there should be no disruption to traffic at that intersection. As long as the temporary repair holds and we can get this pipe bursting and slip lining done, hopefully we would never have to talk about that piece of sewer again.
Please.
Yes, Molly.
So what we're looking at from you, Jennifer, is $48,750.
Yeah.
Is what Gordy Frazier's going to charge us to get us a contractor, essentially.
Right, and then I'm administrating pay applications, we're inspecting.
So after that.
Yeah, so it includes, yes, all of our standard scope of services, correct.
For that price.
Yep.
And we're just in ballpark, we don't exactly, but this repair actually should be, 25 to 30% cheaper than if we did have to open cut instead. So it's actually hopefully less money and less disruptive.
Because traffic control devices, it would be very extensive with digital signboards and, all the signage and barricades and having flaggers. That's a huge element that we don't have to afford with this project, and there's a savings just even with that, and dewatering, trench boxing.
A savings just for not closing the road.
Yeah.
So-
Besides being very annoying.
Right.
Well, annoying is probably not even the appropriate word, but,
So the recommendation in front of you is authorize me to sign the contract with Gordy Frazier for $48,750.
I make a motion that we have our supervisor sign the contract with Gordy Frazier for $48,750.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made, supported, to approve, and authorize me to sign the contract with Gordy Frazier for the repairs at Cass and South Airport. Any further discussion on that motion? Just with a dollar amount, Ann, can we have a roll on that, please?
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
Cumber.
Yes.
Augustinelli.
Yes.
And Jane McManus.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Jennifer.
All right, the last item on new business, consideration of resolution adopting the updated guidelines for brownfield projects involving HTIFs, House Tax Incremental Financing. Resolution 2026-23-T, and Chris, I think, if you want to do this, you want me to do it, but go ahead.
In order to keep all of our housing policies and guidelines consistent with the 20%, if you go to the very bottom of what's in your packet, it just shows you, I changed the language a little bit, just to add consistency. 20% of all housing units in the township. So that's all the changes made in there, and I'm just asking that you consider approving the resolution that's in your packet.
This was a follow-up to our last meeting where we decided to cut it, the total amount of both back to 20 versus 25. So,
I make a motion that we approve of Resolution 2026-23T.
Support.
motion made and supported to approve Resolution 2026-23-T on the HTIF financing. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none. Ann, roll call, please.
Schmuckel.
Yes.
Augustinelli.
Yes.
Horn.
Yes.
Cumber.
Yes.
Lapp.
Yes.
L. McManus.
Yes.
Jane McManus.
Yes, thank you. All right. Next item on our agenda is public comment. This is your opportunity to come forward, tell us anything you'd like to tell us. We just ask that you, to be on the record, speaking on the record, you state your name, your municipality residence, and you have 3 minutes to tell us whatever you want to tell us.
Justin Reed, 6'3", Cottage Drive, Apartment 1B, Traverse City, Michigan resident. Yesterday, I noticed that the Barnes was having an event, and the portion of the road that Phil Culvert's on, they decided to go ahead and move the barricades and let traffic through there. And that culvert is now worser, and now it's just spitting up water through it. So I figured to let you guys know. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin, for the information.
Interesting.
Anybody else?
Probably golf cart or helicopter.
Hi there. My name is James. I'm just down the road on Veterans Drive. I'm so thankful to hear that it sounds like most of you guys are on the same page that I think the majority of the community feels with in regards to data centers too. I know you probably heard more than enough about data centers. I know I have too, and I'd like to keep it that way, making sure that it's not disruptive, as you said. I think that was a very excellent word to use to describe them. I think that they are a detriment to most communities, and I'm really afraid of them coming to ours. So anything that we can do to try to make it a little bit harder, if not impossible for them to develop in our area, I think that would be best in the best interest of everybody. So thank y'all for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's count down 3, 2, 1 in a minute. Anybody else? All right, gone. We will close public comment and bring it back to board. Any other business come before the board this evening? If there is none.
I just have one quick
Yeah, go
little
ahead.
thing. All of you know that, or it's a reminder that Chris's contract ends the end of November.
October.
The end of October. And we owe him a performance review as well as an updated contract before that. So,
If we decide to keep it, I'm sorry.
well, or not, depending on the performance review.
No,
But
I'm
we
kidding, of
do
course.
owe him a review of his performance. That's our obligation. And Joe and I are meeting with Cooper People Group in a couple of Wednesdays. I forget the day exactly, August 26th. And we'll review that process before we bring it to everybody here. Just
We'll have a sheet or some way to score him?
Yes, and all of us will have input into scoring
You guys are gonna
Chris,
talk
and
about how
then
you want
they, as an outside body, will put all of that together.
Compile it for us. So we'll probably, I would guess that probably September you'll be getting the form to fill out so we can,
Yes, so we should, timeline, we want to get that done in September. I think it's important that we owe it to Chris to have something in front of him the beginning of October. If I were Chris, I'd want to know if I still have a job 30
Oh, yeah,
days
no.
from now, but.
he's safe, he's safe.
Yeah,
All right.
I think he's.
Okay, yes.
The other thing is we haven't had a CIP meeting in a while. Are we planning on having one
Before our next meeting. It's in the works.
before an actual board meeting?
Correct.
The same day of,
In
just
2
prior
weeks, yeah,
to
have it like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
28th, 2 weeks from today, probably.
That's what we're tentatively planning to do.
All right,
Maybe a problem, but,
Okay.
we'll get it figured out. We'll schedule whenever, poll everybody and see when they can be there.
okay. Thank you.
Anything else? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
The motion we adjourn.
You want some board?
I need it. Motion made and supported to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.